right, is it going to cooperate? Looking good. Oh, looking good. It's going okay so far. So that's nice. I got that going for me. Yeah, I think I finally fixed my issues. Lovely. I love that for me. I think I finally got this streaming thing kind of down. I think I got the technical aspects of it. OBS Studio, streaming on all the different platforms, having a good resolution, internet connection. That's a good start. But I am way behind today, so I have to kind of rush through some of this. So let's get to it. Oh, I don't have my stuff pulled up. Wait a minute. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Okay, I almost had everything.
$5. That's how much I'm hoping you'll contribute to our campaign to take back Texas. $5 to defeat the billionaire mega donors and their puppet politicians who are trying to defeat our movement.
Welcome.
$5 to win a Senate.
All right, got that queued up. Got this queued up.
This digital calendar lightening my mental load makes it worth every penny. I wasn't fully convinced the Skylight calendar.
Her load. Okay, got that queued up. Excellent. Love that. All right. Let's rock and roll. Okay. So, there we go. So, Jon Ossof has really set the mega pedo party up in arms. Let's watch it. 10 Toes Politics. We love Tallarico in Texas. Hey, that's good. Well, I hope you donate to him because he is fundraising a lot. And maybe if you get him, maybe if you donate more, he'll stop fundraising on my timeline. I support him, by the way. But I would say this from if it was fucking Obama. I hate political donation ads. Mama Redman, welcome. All right, so let's watch Jon Ossof and what has got the mega pedo party all up in arms today.
And there's something uniquely despicable about lying a nation into war. Treating citizens as fools and those who serve as pawns. Aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln, they've now been at sea for 240 plus days without a port call. It's a Navy record.
He's really good with his pauses, I'll say that. He's kind of really pausing at very good times. He is a very good speaker.
And still they serve with excellence.
I mean, no shade on the soldiers on the USS Abraham, but saying they're serving with excellence while they're trying to like flood the aircraft carrier and jumping overboard. I mean, I get it. I would too, but maybe I don't know if that's the right. Maybe just don't even bring that up at all. Maybe just talk about how much they're getting fucked over more. I don't know. I guess it's a politician thing. You got to praise them. Whatever. Stupid point on my part, maybe.
And still they serve with excellence.
But they are getting royally fucked by Trump right now on this trip.
God bless the sailors, Marines, aviators, and all aboard the United States ship Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, you gotta milk that, buddy. Raise the roof. Let's go, audience.
See, they don't expect luxury. They'll endure hardship. But they deserve competent leaders who send them into combat only when necessary. And with decisive clarity of purpose, not fools who lie about the purpose and progress of war. And while the sailors on the Lincoln fight his war, while he fruitlessly drains our munitions and oil reserves,
and Netanyahu's
the
balls
president sleeps through his meetings. He golfs and trades stocks. See, he doesn't want to do the job. He wants to build his ballroom and travel with Natalie on their apparently defenseless flying palace gifted by the Emir of Qatar.
Oh, he said it. He said the thing that's got the mega pedos all triggered. He said it. He said it. What's incredible is that's the most, like, Disney PC version of what he could possibly say. Like, is he alluding to her either being his personal stay-at-home caretaker or his, private traveling fuck buddy? You decide. That's why it's open to interpretation, just like the ending of Inception. But still, like, this is so PC. Listen to this again.
And oil reserves. The president sleeps through his meetings. He golfs and trades stocks. See, he doesn't want to do the job. He wants to build his ballroom and travel with Natalie on their apparently defenseless flying palace.
That's all he said. He said travel with Natalie. Meanwhile, you've got the MAGA pedo party. Their leader is saying, grab him by the pussy, quiet, piggy. And then he's talking about going behind his beauty pageant to see underage teenage girls. Like, they're beautiful, beautiful young women. I love it. He also says about Jeffrey Epstein, I like Jeffrey because he likes them on the younger side. And this is what they get so triggered about. It's the typical absolute snowflake reaction, and I fucking love it. I do not like Jon Ossof, by the way. He is a political disaster. He is a centrist. He is a fraud. Just like Gavin, he's Gavin Newsom but shorter, right? That's all Jon Ossof is, especially when it comes to his politics. What really differentiates his politics from a fraud hack like Gavin Newsom? Nothing. But what I do like about Newsom and what I do like about Ossof, what I like more about Ossof than Newsom, though, is at least he's, somewhat anti-Israel. But they go there, right? They're not afraid to throw some fucking punches, to get in the mud a little bit. And we need more of this, honestly. I will hate them as a person and for their politics, but I will always support this kind of rhetorical haymaker. The military is pissed. Trump isn't going to get the military uprising he thinks he will when he decides he doesn't want to leave office. I certainly hope not, but I'm not putting any... Uh-oh. There must be a Republican in the area because I just got a child abduction alert on my phone. Jake Lang is nearby. That's why we got it. Yeah, I certainly hope the military won't join in, but I'm not putting anything past him. So this is what it all comes down to, is that Natalie Harp's relationship, or whatever in the fuck is happening here, is so weird. Even her brother is like, yeah, she's got some problems. Like, you know how fucked up it's got to be for your family to step onto the national stage, sacrifice their anonymity, and potentially even putting their job and safety at risk? To be like, yeah, my sister has a bad, weird, very unhealthy crush. So, for background, Mr. Trump is described as explaining to people that Ms. Harp is the only one who loves him as much as his wife and children. All his other staff will go off and make money, Mr. Trump would say, but Ms. Harp will never leave him. That's fucking weird. Several videos shared with the Times show Ms. Harp sprinting across great distances to keep up with Mr. Trump's golf cart as it putters around across his course in Scotland. I also am sorry if I was an embarrassment walking the course of Scotland, she wrote in a letter to the president. This is fucking weird. This is fucking weird. She's either polishing his knob or changing his diapers. Like, there's no fucking middle ground here. Something is happening between these two that they don't want to get public, which is why the MAGA pedo party is so triggered and pushing back on this so hard, which makes it even more funny and ironic because it makes them look even more suspicious. You know? It's like, you know how someone says, "Oh, I don't know, like, you definitely don't smell ladies' underwear." You know, they're like, "No, I don't fucking do that, man. I don't fucking do that." You're like, whoa. I meant it as a fucking joke. I think you do, actually. This is weird. Like, that's when it starts getting sus. Their reaction, a lot of times, like in counterintelligence, what do? And especially with interviews sometimes, like the feds, the police, and not to say that they're very good judges of it, but a lot of the times you'll ask a question not necessarily for the answer, but for the reaction. And I have a stream from a couple weeks ago when the Lindsay Fifield story came out about Graham Plattner, and he was asked, are any more other stories going to come out? And he was like, nope, no. And I even called that out when I watched it. I was like, that's sus. That's sus. Lo and behold, 2 weeks later, we got the story about, him raping that one woman who I guess was his fuck buddy or whatever it was. So a lot of times it's more the reaction, and the fact that the MAGA pedo party is pushing back so fucking hard means that there is 100% something there, and to keep pushing. So we're finding out more and more.
New breaking details about Trump's fiercely loyal personal aide, Natalie Harp. Our Kristen Holmes reporting tonight that Harp is physically close to Trump at all hours of the day. Sources also telling Kristen that Harp once jumped into the trunk of a vehicle in Trump's motorcade when she was told there was not room for her to travel with him to a hearing in a New York City courthouse.
She jumped into a fucking trunk. Gus Kearns, welcome. She jumped into a fucking trunk. Like, most people are thrown into a trunk by the mob. But Natalie Harp sees Trump's trunk and she's like, yes! Like, who does that? This is not healthy behavior, people. The trunk is normal. What movie have you ever seen? Okay, I'll go one further. Every mob movie, like every action movie, whatever, if someone gets put in a trunk, they're in danger, girl, right? And then, conversely, anytime you see someone willingly climb into the trunk of a car, you're like, that motherfucker crazy. I don't know. We haven't seen their backstory. We don't know their motives here, their wants, their needs, right? What's their motivation? But as soon as we see them jump into the trunk, we don't need to know a whole lot more. We're like, oh, they are fucked up. Something is wrong with them, and that is 100% what's happening here with Natalie Harp. Yeah, denied a seat but determined not to be left behind. Harp jumped into an SUV trunk, according to the two sources and confirmed by a photo obtained by CNN. So her own brother had to come out and be like, yeah, it's not good. It's not good.
Two sources, Preston, are telling CNN that your sister was involved, back in October 2023, right? The context here is Donald Trump's motorcade was going to leave Trump Tower for a court appearance, okay? And they were all getting into the motorcade. Oh, yeah. There was sort of a screaming match about who was getting in what car, and it turned out that there wasn't room for Natalie.
So I want to pause for real quick. For context, if I recall right, this was for the New York case. They got him the 34 felony counts, right? So just want to say, kind of a big deal as the defendant to maybe have, I don't know, your legal team, potentially your private security, maybe stuff like that, right? Maybe you don't need the person that changes your diapers to go with you, but this lady, Trump says how high to jump, and she leaps tall building in single bound. She becomes fucking Superman. So that's also questionable. Like, why is this lady so desperate to go to this thing, which, like, maybe he doesn't need you around and needs to focus on the trial, right? Maybe that's the thing. You know how, like, kids will sometimes be like, I don't want my parents at my soccer game because I'm going to get nervous and then I won't play well, right? That kind of shit happens. Well, Donald Trump is getting sentenced for 34 felony counts. Maybe he doesn't need this crazy blonde lady yapping in his ear and writing him fucking Shakespeare poem love letters in between fart breaks for Trump at the defense table, right?
So she insisted. She said no. Trump had personally asked her to come to this court appearance, so she needed to be in the car. Now, according to these sources, the end result is that your sister jumped into the trunk of one of the motorcade vehicles.
That is so sus.
To go to the court appearance in Lower Manhattan.
That's really funny. I didn't even know about that.
I mean, what is your reaction to
Even
that?
she's like, what do I do
You're
here?
laughing, but I mean, is it funny or what? I mean, you know her, so that's why.
I'm sorry. It's actually kind of sad. That's obsession. That's like an unhealthy obsession with someone if you're going to jump into the trunk of their car.
Dude.
Like...
This is... It's the movie Obsession. We're going to find out that Natalie Hart is like in the corner looking like a demon when Trump is sleeping like, I just feel you don't love me like I do. Like it's not mutual. I'm telling you, we're going to find out that Trump did a one-wish willow on Natalie Harp and is going through it full bear style and be like, I can't believe it. I can't have this lady around. I don't know why. She's always around. It was one wish. It was a one-wish willow, and I regret it. I regret it. Should have done something else. Should have wished that Putin would just give me $1 billion. That would have been so much better. $1 billion and a blowjob. That's what I should have asked for. Like, this is... There was an entire movie about why this is wrong and inappropriate. So Jon Ossof actually went further
about the
in that same rally.
When he first announced the tariffs, you remember that? He called it Liberation Day. And it crashed the markets because it was clown policy. You remember that? Okay, so follow me through on this. He announces the tariffs on April 2nd of last year. The markets tank nonstop for like a week because it's a disastrous trade policy. And 6 days into the crash, April 8th, Trump buys millions in stock. I'm talking Amazon, Nvidia, Apple, Microsoft, Berkshire Hathaway. And then the very next morning, April 9th, he posts on Truth Social, quote, "This is a great time to buy." 3 exclamation marks.
Absolute fire sale.
Okay, now listen to this. 3 hours and 41 minutes after that post, 1 day after he bought millions in stock, he canceled the tariffs and triggered one of the biggest same-day rebound rallies in market history. He's trying to get money. And you saw now he's offering paid subscriptions to presidential announcements, right? Just understand what's for sale here.
The country.
The sitting president's pronouncements on war and peace and economic policy delivered first to paying customers? What an absolute crook.
I've been saying this kind of message is really going to resonate. It's going to resonate. No one listens to me.
And speaking of crooks,
What is he
not a lot of people know this, but Congressman Mike Collins is literally one of the most active crypto traders in the entire Congress.
I wonder why.
Now remember, Mike's already under federal investigation for illegally funneling tax dollars to his violent staffer's girlfriend for a no-show job. Do you remember that? But Mike Collins also repeatedly broke the law hiding his crypto trading. Because he's like a scandal piñata.
It's kind of funny.
But every time you shake him, more misdeeds fall out.
All right, whoever wrote that needs a raise. That's pretty fucking funny. But again, this is such a potent argument because if there's one thing Americans hate, there's so much individualism and there's so much jealousy. Love thy neighbor, more like hate thy neighbor. Am I right, Americans? Like, people really can't stand the idea of other people doing better than them, right? Or even not even people other doing better than them, people under them getting the bare minimum. That's why so many people have such animosity towards, any kind of welfare, whether it be Medicare, whether it be food stamps, whether it be unemployment insurance. They hate that shit. Now, you factor that in with a self-dealing pedophile leader in the White House that is enriching himself. On top of that, while everyone else is suffering, $6 a gallon gas, beef prices going up, maybe we'll get drafted into a war, maybe there'll just be a nuclear war. We just wake up one day, we see a bright light, and well, that's it. That's all she wrote. This is such a potent fucking argument. And I've been telling Democrats they need to do this. This needs to be something that you run on, because when you run on this kind of stuff, it resonates. Even more than that, like, imagine if Kamala had been saying this kind of crap. But she couldn't, because the simple fact was that she was getting the same kind of campaign contributions that Trump is getting. The same industries that Trump is enriching himself off of, Kamala was taking bribes from them. And he just listed a whole host of crimes from Trump, right? Violations of the Emolument Clause, self-dealing, corruption, insider trading, just a list of white-collar crimes. Here's the crazy thing, though. If Jon Ossof, which seems to be going to run for president, if he were to run, he ain't going to prosecute any of that. As much as people and the libs are trying to push him as this white knight, he's not going to do fucking shit because he is a product of the establishment. He is a centrist. He will get in charge, and he will tell his attorney general to not challenge the pardons that Trump is going to give himself. He's going to tell his attorney general to look forward, not backwards. Don't look at the self-dealing. Don't look at the bribes that they got from Israel, from Russia. Don't look at any of that. Don't look at the tariffs and the pump and dump schemes. Don't look at any of that. Don't look at the literal fucking sex trafficking that's happening at the ICE concentration camps. Don't look at that. Come on. It's the Leslie Nielsen thing. Everything is blowing up behind him. Nothing to see here, folks. That is the future that we are going to have if the centrists win. And we cannot let that happen. I love that this kind of rhetoric is coming out, and we need more of it. But the simple fact is, if we let the centrists like Jon Ossof, like Gavin Newsom, like Kamala Harris, who is apparently deciding to run again for some stupid fucking self-dealing reason, her ego or some shit, if they win, they're going to destroy this country further. Because all the people that committed all these crimes are going to get away with it. And it's going to send a message that, hey, billionaires, if you ever want to just completely enrich yourselves and live like kings, all you have to do is win the White House again. That's all you got to do, and they will make that their life's mission. That's what they're going to do. You have to jail these billionaires, especially the pedophiles like Elon Musk, not Sam Altman, Peter Thiel, and Mark Andreessen. You have to jail these rapist pedophiles. If you, like I said, if you don't, they're just going to take the White House, and then they're going to steal everything else from us, and the country, I'll tell you, we're sure as fuck not going to be a superpower ever again if that keeps happening. So Jennifer Welch has a really succinct analysis on this.
Give me a fucking break. All of MAGA. Jon Ossof, keep going. All gas, no brakes. But here's the thing. All of this Natalie stuff is a distraction, except for one point. If we have a mentally unhinged,
she says it's a distraction, but I don't think it is. I think that's part of the problem because you dive into what's happening with Natalie Harp, and I guarantee you're going to find a nest of corruption. That's how it always works with Trump. So I disagree with it being a distraction. I can understand why she's saying it, but it's actually a symptom of the corruption because Trump has just this cult personality about him that he can do anything and he'll get any of his minions to do whatever in the hell he says, just like he did on the January 6th terrorist attacks with the MAGA pedophiles and rapists that then attacked the Capitol. It's the same thing. So I disagree with her viewpoint on that. Charles Oliver, 79656. Welcome, Buzzboy, 3579. Con TSCH, welcome.
Woman, a 35-year-old woman, completely razor-focused, obsessed with Donald Trump, sends him crazy letters like, you know, I always want to be so important to you. All this crazy shit that's been reported. By the way. It's a national security risk because we know he's in his deathbed confession era and he's over there, you know.
But that's why I say it's not a distraction. This bitch could have the fucking nuclear codes. We don't know. She could have fucking classified top secret information where the nuclear submarines are positioned. And she could be selling that shit on Kalshi. We don't fucking know.
Like a nut at all times. What we see on television, that's his best foot forward. Imagine what's happening behind camera. Well, Natalie knows all of that stuff. So does she have compromising information on him? So Democrats, start attacking her from that angle as well. And let's start playing those hypercuts, those clips of Trump and all of the sexism that he's done. So MAGA, why don't you sit this one out? Give me
another reason why it's so potent is like she says at the end there, it exposes the hypocrisy. Like he can say that you fly with Natalie and yet you can say grab him by the pussy. You love Epstein because he loves younger women. You love walking in on teenage beauty pageant contestants and you can get away with it because you own the place. Like, come on, Quiet Piggy. You know, go back to your country, AOC and Rashida Tlaib and all these other women. Come the fuck on. I totally agree with her on that. She's the best. Unearthed letter from Natalie Harp to Trump. I want things to always be right. Oh, my God. This is so Nikki from Obsession, dude. I want things to always be right between us. I also know I've been distracted all week, forgetting to eat throughout the days and even forgetting to sleep and only catching a couple hours at a time. Oh, this is so creepy. This is not normal. A 35-year-old woman with an 82-year-old child rapist that has a colostomy bag in his shoe. This is not fucking normal. Oh, my God. It's so sus, dude. So then, Rapid Response 47, I'm not going to click on them and give them the engagement, but Rapid Response 47 is a pedophile organization since they support Trump. And Chris and CNN asked them a question in regards to what Ossof, which was a totally legitimate question, a totally fair question, given what Ossof said and given the bizarre relationship with Trump. Asked them a question. So this piece of shit pedophile says, someday your children will come across your disgusting and inhumane question. They will be sickened and embarrassed to have a parent be so callous and vindictive. It's quite troubling. So then Elena Treen, who is a White House correspondent for CNN, stood up for them, saying, what a horrible thing to say. Kristen is an incredible reporter, person, and above all, mother. I don't understand such a reaction to a journalist asking the president for his response to something a Democratic senator has leveled against him. This is a great statement. We need to see more of this. The press pool actually needs to stand up for themselves, to actually be journalists for one, and not fucking paid stenographers. But here's the other side of that, is that I guarantee you Elena Treen was at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Let me see. I'm just going to throw that out there. Let me see if I'm right. Okay, it's a AI overview, but it does say Washington Post. Almost colleagues at CNN, defense. What a horrible thing to say. Yeah, that's not helpful. This is why you can't trust these AI overviews. Okay, here we go. Elena Treen. Okay, this is from Getty Images. Yeah. Elena Treen attends the 2026 White House Correspondents' Dinner in Washington on April 25th, 2026. This is the one with the fake shooting that Trump staged. So, like, how can you speak up like this and then sit through something like that? A completely fascist takeover of journalism, of the First Amendment, made you guys the butt of every fucking joke, and you just sat there and took it. Like, what is the point of these White House correspondent dinners, right? And then of the horrible shit this person says, this is the best defense? Like, come on, let's get a little vulgar, let's get a little crass, let's get a little bit more to the fucking bone on this, you know? But again, this is classic centrism, right? Just be super appropriate, take the high road. Like, go mama bear on these motherfuckers. Like, hey, you pieces of shit. She's a fucking mom, and she's doing her fucking job, so either answer the fucking question and respect the First Amendment, or get the fuck out of the way, you America haters. Come on! Let's get fucking mean here, people. Levi, welcome. Good to see you again. So, moving on to other issues, Angie Nixon won in a pretty big election down in Florida that and I believe she's an open Democratic Socialist. I'll verify that in a minute. And she was one of two members in the Florida House to call for a ceasefire in Palestine in 2023. This was back when it was way less popular than it is now. She put a lot on the line to do this. This is incredible.
We are at 10,000 dead Palestinians. How many will be enough? One of my colleagues just said all of them. Wow. One of my colleagues said all of them. One of my colleagues also stated that...
See, when they say all of them, start speaking truth to power. That is genocide. This is the kind of shit that America was founded to fight against. You're un-American, sir. You have your is there no decency moment, sir. Don't let them just say that shit without shaming them. They can't feel shame, but I guarantee you that if you put them on the spot, there will be more pressure. And there will be more support for your cause because these people are truly evil. Just tell them the truth. You're getting 10,000 dead people that are just going about their lives. They're going to work. They're raising their kids. They're taking a shit like the rest of us. And you want them all dead. You, sir, are a genocidal psychopath. Do it.
This is going to dry up their fundraising if we vote on this resolution. I also want that, that's what we've become in this state. That's what we've become in this state, where we don't care about innocent babies that don't even get the opportunity to blow out their first birthday candle.
That's an incredible statement. Good for her. And I'm when I say, my criticism, this is just what I think is a better messaging tack, and I get that this was back in 2023. She's also got all this pressure on her. She's in the middle of an improv speech about it. So this is not a criticism of her. I'm just saying, if we encounter this in our daily lives, if someone is saying all of them, just say the simple fact. You're a fucking psychopath. You want to literally genocide an entire race of people. You're a fucking psychopath, and this is exactly why we need to make sure you don't have access to any fucking bombs, any fucking guns. We need to make sure we're investigating your search history, because we don't know what fucking side deals you're making with AIPAC, with these foreign governments, and how you're acting with a foreign government over America. We need to be asking these kinds of things. But this was obviously a very heartfelt moment for her, and she's an incredible person. Hi, Levi. Thank you. I'm doing pretty good today. I'm a little bit behind, but that's neither here nor there. So she's been on the spot on, this was her on Morning Joe.
Your Republican opponent, Ashley Moody, already is saying the positions of the DSA and particularly of you are crazy, calling you all comrades together, et cetera. So what about abolishing prisons, which is one of the platform positions of the national DSA? Do you support that?
I don't support abolishing prisons. What I do support is abolishing for-profit prisons.
Yeah, this is a really good answer, because, again, I know that there are a lot of people that are even left to me that want to abolish all prisons, and I'll just tell them again, pedophiles exist, so maybe we shouldn't abolish all prisons. Maybe there's a place to send people who want to rape women. Maybe there's a place to send terrorists to try to overthrow the Capitol. Maybe there's a place to send people that enrich themselves on the White House while completely screwing over Americans. You know, maybe there's a good reason for some prisons.
Because they exploit
private prisons,
labor,
yeah,
and they usher many of our children into the school-to-prison pipeline.
Yeah,
Why
the school-to-prison pipeline is a big thing.
Incentivizing the enhancement of penalties and actually allow the enhancement of not actually allowing the education system to be successful. There has been an attack on public education here in our state and across our country, and that leads to children winding up in the school to prison pipeline. I don't support abolishing prisons, but I do support ending for-profit prisons, which also, when you look at it, and look at some data points, you will see that there have been a lot of people that have died inside of these for-profit prisons. By the way. Or you have seen there's a lot of waste and abuse and fraud within these private prisons, for-profit prisons. And so those are the types of things that I'm against.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a perfect answer. And then Emma Vigilant is pretty good political commentator here. Says, Nixon is the most talented politician I've seen in a minute. I mean, that answer, what else could you add to that, right? It was such a good answer. This is Zoran level maneuvering around a thorny topic for DSA. Agreed. She redirects focus to a pressing issue without compromising on values. Florida's tough, but she has the ability to plant organizing seeds a la Georgia. Yeah, I fully agree on that. So she's asked on some other stuff here.
At this time, I believe...
Would you support cutting off military and economic aid to Israel?
At this time, I believe what's happening over in Israel and in Palestine is not good for Israelis or Palestinians. And I believe that Netanyahu is a war criminal who
there it is,
his crimes. And I do not support sending any money.
I want a fucking party every time I hear that. Fuck yeah.
At this moment, no, I don't.
So just a sidebar here, Gene Robinson. I just want to do a quick summary, and you
shut the fuck up, Joe Scarborough, you
the
prick.
State legislator. Her position on aid to Israel. By the way, just for people that right now their hair is like combustible, that's Rahm Emanuel's position on Israel now. Rahm Emanuel, whose father was there at the birth of Israel, who fought for Israel. Rahm's position is, we should treat Israel just like every other country. We should treat them like our allies, Great Britain. We should treat them like France. And we should...
yeah, maybe there's a fucking reason for that, Joe. Because it's a country of genocidal pedophile terrorists. Maybe there's a fucking... Joe Scarborough has totally fucking lost the plot. Jesus Christ.
Support
Wait, did he... Okay, I thought he... Okay, I thought this was
give that aid based on...
How
they conduct themselves. And right now, Rahm doesn't believe that Netanyahu is doing, just as the legislator said, what is in the best interest of Israel or the best interest of America.
And yet that didn't stop Joe Scarborough for supporting Israel, even as of, like, what, last month?
So you don't support defunding the police?
No, I don't support defunding the police. I do support comprehensive criminal justice reform to make sure we are addressing some of the root causes of people leading into a life of crime.
So this is the only one I don't like. Like this kind of feels like the basic surface level political answer. It's like, okay, like what? The biggest problem, the biggest reason people want to defund the police is because we send billions of dollars for them. They're completely incompetent. They close like not even 10% of crimes. They can't even come out to you if your car is broken into, if your house is broken into. You have to go to them. And then they use flock cameras to track their girlfriends, which is a fucking crime. They're stalkers. And then they milk overtime. They smoke fucking crack and other drugs in the parking lots. They sleep on the job. That's why we need to defund the police. They shoot Americans, and then they plant evidence, which you've seen time and time again. They lie under oath. These are the reasons we need to defund the police. There is zero accountability. And when the police start holding themselves accountable and start actually getting rid of these bad apples, as they always like to call them, maybe they can get some more money. But until then, they need a fucking timeout. I don't like that answer, but whatever. Okay, yeah, I already covered this one.
And I also want to be clear. I've unseated incumbents before.
ANDM Boutique, welcome.
Spent 5-1, and I did that while I was 9 months pregnant with COVID. Y'all, I'm not 9 months pregnant anymore, and I definitely don't have COVID. So y'all know I'm gonna work hard as I can, and that is how I'm.
She got them all cracking up.
I know that Ashley Moody will be calling me senator in November.
This is such a great answer. Especially, like, I know Ashley Moody will be calling me a senator in November. This whole bit about, like, I've been outspent while 9 months pregnant and having COVID. I'm not 9 months pregnant. I don't have COVID. So guess what? I'm going to win. That's such a great answer. So this was her victory speech, I think.
Work 3 jobs just to keep a roof over their heads is extreme. They call me extreme. But where I come from, okay, right here in Duval County, these things are not radical. That's right. They're not extreme. This is just basic human decency. It's caring for our neighbors. And I don't know about you, but I was taught to love my neighbors. That's what guides me. Some folks like Ashley Moody like to claim the mantle of morality, yet their actions tell a very different story.
Wow, this is an incredible speech.
We put actions behind our words. So Ashley Moody can call it whatever she wants.
This is an incredible speech. Like, I see why they're saying that she has great rhetorical skills. It's really amazing. And we have our first MAGA pedo in our chat. Adam Sato 89. You are a pedophile along with someone else. Guess who it is?
Trump is on the Epstein list. Yes, he is. Trump is on the Epstein list. Yes,
there you go, Levi. I played it, Levi. I played the channel song. Adam Sato 89, you are a pedophile. And I am behind on schedule. I don't have time for your bullshit, you Nazi child raping fucking bitch. Moving on.
She can call us whatever she wants. But in November, she will call me senator.
Yeah, Levi, I played it. Yeah, she's an incredible speaker. Also, I love how MAGA pedo Adam Sato 89 is calling this a Nazi flag when it's literally the flag that beat the shit out of Nazi pedophiles like him. And on top of that, I'm watching and cheering for a black democratic socialist win. These guys this is why they're losing, right? This is why they're more unpopular than ever, because they don't live in the same reality, right? They just think they can yap and yap and yap, and then if they say this kind of shit in real life, they're gonna be ignored. This is why they're in my chat, because if they go out on the street, they're going to be looked at as the fucking loser that they are. So that's why they need the safe space of the internet. The safe space of the internet where they can just keyboard type away in the safety of their mother's basement while they're jacking off to CSAM that Elon Musk Grok made for them. Meanwhile, I'm here cheering on black people that won in fucking Florida because the Democrats had a huge sweep against the MAGA pedo party like Adam Sato 89. I love she's just soaking it in. She's like, yeah, that's right. Yeah, she broke. She couldn't hold it. That's awesome. Don't drop it. She's one of those candidates that I was not particularly familiar with because I only have so much bandwidth to focus on. But this is pretty amazing, and especially when you look at the statistics of what she was up against. Well, let me watch this clip too.
You've
because they're still obsessed on the whole Hassan Piker bullshit.
Campaign with Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib, Mr. Piker. Do you want to see them on the campaign trail with you as well?
So I have not campaigned with Mr. Piker. Not sure where that information came from. I have campaigned with Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib, and so she is someone who wants the same things that I want to make sure that government.
Chomp the oligarchy is such a good, especially for Florida, because all them gators. It's a great slogan.
Is working for people and not against it. And so I'll continue to do the same thing, but I have not campaigned with Mr. Piker at all. Not sure where that came from.
All right, my apologies. I thought that you had. My apologies about that. Would you want him to campaign with you?
She just had, they just, like, oh, I'm sorry you didn't. But also, Hassan still, like, bitch, there's so many fucking other issues, and you guys are so focused on Hassan. This is part, again, there is a very good reason that corporate media like, is this Gayle King? I guess I don't know. Well, it's CBS, so that's your answer right there. But there's a reason that so many people have lost faith in corporate media. It's because of shit outlets like CBS, shit anchors like this person who are talking about shit. People don't even know Hassan Piker, but they do know the price of gas is going up. They do know we're at war over what? We don't know. They do know there's a shitload of people in the Epstein files that rape children and get away with it. But Hassan! But tell me how you feel about Hassan! The Hassan derangement syndrome is insane from corporate media right now.
I don't really know who Mr. Piker is. I've heard about him, and so
you don't know who he is?
I said I don't really know who he.
And she thought she's still going for it. She thought she had a gotcha there, right? She's like, you don't know who Hassan Piker is? Like, no. I said I don't really know who he is. I'm familiar with his name and his brand generally, but I don't know a lot of details about him.
He is personally or anything like that.
See,
I am actually focused
Hassan
on Florida and making sure that I'm talking to voters here to uplift their needs and their concerns. And so that's what my focus is going to be over the next 76 days.
You've campaigned.
It is Gayle King. Okay, I was right. Yeah, I really hope this is... I don't know what's going on behind the scenes of CBS News. It's a total shit show. I really hope this isn't Gayle King thinking this is legitimate journalism. I really hope that we find out later on that she was pushed by the network to do this bullshit. I really hope that her as a person and as a journalist, because she has done some incredible work in the past, I hope that she knows it's a stupid talking point. But the simple fact is that we just don't know, and we might never know. So, you know, there's that. We have another Trigger Mega pedophile. Joe Burness, Cass 8672. Hassan is a piece of shit. She's a liar. She hangs with Nazi filth like Rashida Tlaib, so she knows Piker. She needs an answer, better answer in the general. Yeah, Donald Trump is a pedophile. Donald Trump is a pedophile, right? He rapes children. He has an entire paramilitary force that he uses to kidnap children, put them in the concentration camps, who are then separated because they're underage, and then Trump and his Epstein file pedo party cabal go in and rape those children. Who gives a fuck about Hassan Piker? Speaking of fuck things...
Fuck ICE, kick down the cage. Fuck mega heads, stuck in their rage. Fuck Trump, clown on a stage. We burning the system, setting the blaze. Fuck ICE, they tearing the lives apart. Fuck mega hate with their cold dead hearts. Fuck Trump lies from the very first start.
Joe Burren, SKAS 8672 is a pedophile. Confirmed on the channel. First one here. I am the Chris Hansen to the Trump pedo party. Anyway, moving on. So this is some incredible information that we're seeing about what she was up against, right? Angie Nixon seems to have activated a voter base that looks pretty different from other Democratic socialists. For one, Nixon did best in the least college-educated counties in Florida. She won them by 30 points. So I'm very curious what that difference is. It might be a combination of just ground game and also message appeal and also targeted ads. I'm very, very curious. But this is definitely who we want to be getting. You're correct, the better song. Yeah, Levi, I'm trying to mix it up. I'm trying to get some other things. Washington Post analysis finds Democratic Socialist Angie Nixon built an unusual coalition in Florida's Democratic Senate primary, performing strongest in counties that were younger, poorer, less college-educated, and had larger black populations. Nixon won the least college-educated and blackest counties by roughly 30 points, carried counties with median household incomes below $65,000 by 20 points, and dominated areas with the largest shares of young adults. The Post said she activated a voter base that looks pretty different from other Democratic Socialists. This is definitely the kind of demographics that we need to be turning out. Black folks are the backbone of the Democratic Party, and the simple fact is that if your message and policies do not benefit them, do not impact them in a material way, and in a way that's going to better their lives, why the fuck would they support you? They're not a fucking given. Maybe have a policy and a platform that benefits them. What do I know? I'm just a political genius. So just to underscore how big an upset this was, Vindman not only outraised Nixon 16-1 and outspent her 13-1, he significantly outraised incumbent GOP Senator Ashley Moody as well. This is an insane statistic, right? Alex Vindman, the former guy from Trump's impeachment, outspent her 13-1 and lost by a significant portion. Outspent 36-1 on the airwaves. She spent 0 on broadcast cable. This is going to be a political study that is going to this is going to be a political campaign that's going to be studied, because that turnout with that kind of this is insane. So this is a recap. Progressive left candidate Angie Nixon defeated establishment candidate Alex Vindman by a double-digit margin in the Senate Dem primary after getting outspent nearly 13-1. Trump-backed Byron Donalds won the GOP nomination for governor. Groyper edgelord candidate James Fishback barely cracked double digits. Incumbent Randy Fine, known best for being unabashedly Islamophobic and also an Israel pedophile supporter, defeated unabashedly anti-Semitic / pseudo-Nazi Daniel Bilzerian in Florida 6. Yeah, this guy is also insane. We'll get to him later. Incumbent Corey Mills, who was accused of assaulting a girlfriend and stalking an ex-girlfriend, among other things, lost renomination to Ryan Elijah in Florida 7. Trump-backed Catalina Loft lost to Jim Schwartzel in Florida 19. Debbie Wasserman Schultz, this one really sucked, defeated 4 black candidates who did not consolidate despite some early efforts to do so in Florida 20, which is 39% black, 30 white, 23 Latino. DWS won over 45% of the vote, so it's not entirely clear consolidation would have worked anyway. She's a terrible person. First of all, she's a Zionist, so that really tells you all you need to know. But she didn't even live in that area. She carpetbagged a primarily black district to take over for them, as representative when she does not represent them. It was simply a divided field, and she had the backing of AIPAC the entire time. This is really, really shitty result. DSA-backed Oliver Larkin got smoked by incumbent Jared Moskovich. That does suck. However, the simple fact is that the turnout for him in a majority Zionist neighborhood in Miami as a socialist, there is actually a lot of good takeaways from that. Sometimes the L, you learn from that, right? There's a lot of fighters in the UFC, boxing, jiu-jitsu that, they take an L and they learn from it and they come back better fighters. So hopefully we see that from Oliver Larkin, because I thought a couple of his interviews, especially the one where he turned the table on Fox News about Trump being a pedophile and they had to end the interview, was just classic. A reach but winnable seat for Democrats in Florida 27. Local TV news anchor and local legend Elliot Rodriguez, and it's a much tighter than expected race, only up 54-46 over Ruben Peguero, a former January 6th committee lawyer, a terrorist, with 72% winning. Charlie Crist is somehow still around doing stuff and won the nonpartisan primary for St. Petersburg mayor. So Florida was, I think, a win for the left overall. There were some things that could have been better, but still, this is pretty good outcomes, I think, given the circumstances. Now, Vindman was so arrogant that he literally laughed at Angie Nixon, said he didn't even think he was in a primary, who had been in discussions with Vindman to join his campaign at one point, told Axios. Now, this is a pretty long description, but did Vindman's loss close the book on Resistance 1.0? Sure, why not? Conway, Al Green, Dan Goldman, Tom Steyer, lots of Dems losing this year after they remind voters that they fought to impeach Trump, and voters cringe at the memory. I don't know where he gets this from. I don't think that's the case. More voters than any want an impeachment right now. I think this is a horribly flawed analysis, because people want consequences, and they do actually remember the impeachment positively. So I think this is very flawed. In the first Trump term, a lot of Democrats have Watergate brain, a high-class version of true crime podcast brain. This is bizarre. That's just bizarre. It was so obvious that this fluke president would go down. Like Nixon, no other president foreshadowing went down. Popular idea among liberals was that conservatives who didn't trust Trump actually wanted Pence as president anyway. So when the scandals piled up, the real GOP would assert itself and dump Trump. This was actually a thought among liberals because liberals are stupid. This sounds crazy if you weren't there at the time and only know Trump as a figure so trusted by Republicans that his signature can show up in an Epstein birthday book and the speaker will say, well, maybe that's not his signature. But it was a very savvy take in 2017. Lots of rumor mongering about the walls closing in and how the Mueller investigation would undo Trump. Spielberg dusted off a Watergate script and made the post because of the urgency of the Trump moment. Boomer corn syrup candy, sit in the theater and think about how, inevitably, the good guys, you, will triumph and Trump will have to quit. Vindman was a central figure of the first Trump impeachment, which made him, like his brother, a fundraising machine. Voters had moved on. Nixon was an especially fit candidate to beat him. She got to Tallahassee as Trump was leaving office and was there protesting and losing as DeSantis dismantled Democratic Party power and won the culture wars. Impeachment not only didn't stop Trump, the conservative movement was more powerful than Trump. I don't think it was the conservative movement, it was the MAGA movement specifically, but whatever. There's no clear post-Trump Democratic strategy to regain what they've lost since 2016. Don't agree with that. But they know that they lost and that there's no magic how dare you sir button that will remove him, healthy IMO. I don't know. I really don't think Vindman losing has anything to do with his impeachment. I think it has to do with him being pro-Israel and not taking Angie Nixon as a serious candidate. If I remember right, there were a couple other stupid things he did on the campaign trail that was offensive to the black community, but I can't say that for certain. I don't recall. I'd have to look it up. But regardless, this seems like a horrible take to me because now more voters than ever want consequences for Trump. They want jail. They want special counsels. Some of them, guess what? Put on the little thought bubble other things that I can't say on air. Some people have done that. You can Google it yourself. But I do not think he is correct in this analysis, and he's normally pretty, he's a fairly knowledgeable and accurate guy, so this is a bizarre take to me, but whatever. Vindman raised over $16 million. Nixon raised less than $1 million. This is absolutely incredible. I've interviewed Rep. Nixon, and she is very impressive. Yeah, so So she won by, what is that, about 45,000 votes? Almost 9%? For 7%? No. 4 plus 3, 7%. That's pretty, yeah. Her candidacy is going to be studied. But here's another thing that's incredible. 10 Trump-endorsed candidates have now lost this primary season, including 6 in the last 2 weeks and 3 on Tuesday alone. Those 10 losses are as much as Trump suffered in 2018, 2020, and 2024 combined, and is one shy of matching his worst year, 2022. This is very big. This is the biggest takeaway so far because this shows that his endorsement and his popularity and his hold on the party does not have the sway that it used to. Levi, 35,000 what? What do you mean? These are the flips the Democrats got. They flipped the school board of Sarasota County, Florida, stronghold of Moms for Liberty. Dems flipped the school board chair seat in Orange County, Florida. Dems flip at-large city council seat in Jacksonville. Dems lead in a red Pennsylvania state house seat, all precincts in no AP call. 35,000? I'm sorry, I'm not sure what you're talking about here. Yeah, I don't know what you mean, Levi. This is all the flips. So there's flips in Texas, Georgia, Mississippi, Iowa, Pennsylvania. I don't know if I have the tweet, but there was analysis on this, and the 35,000 votes? Oh, yeah, I think you're right. It is 35,000. 255. 98. Yeah, 35, you're right. So the flips from, I really wish I had this tweet. Basically, the flips from the left against establishment and centrist Democrats this cycle has been more than the Tea Party wave back in, 2010, 2012? So the establishment is losing. Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries are losing. They're not necessarily bloody on the ropes, but they are definitely losing. They're taking more punches, and they are losing ground to the center of the ring. That's for sure happening. And we need to keep that in with those rookie numbers. We got to pump those numbers up. We need the establishment to be completely annihilated. These are the same people that brought us funding for Israel. These are the same people that said, thank you, ICE, for doing such a good job. These are the same people that first started the persecution of the Palestinian activists. These are the same people that consistently take black voters for granted and then deliver nothing to them. You got to go, okay, thanks, Levi. So, good seeing Levi. So we have to pump those numbers up. Here's the craziest thing. You too, Levi. Have a good night. Wason Fernandez, Fallen Cherubs Studio, welcome. Here's the other crazy thing. Republicans unexpectedly lose Pennsylvania State House 12th District special election located in Butler County, Pennsylvania, where Trump's fake assassination attempt occurred and which Trump won by 19 points. This is crazy. This is crazy. The heartland, right? Butler County, where Trump had his assassination attempt, right? With that patsy that they somehow let inside with an AR-15 after police saw him and made contact and let him go anyways. Trump won it by 19 points and they lost. This is big. This is really big. And it does not bode well for the midterms. So this is what Mehdi Hassan and Sam Cedar were talking about. Who do you think that 28 candidate
should be who can pull off these different things we need to pull off?
I don't know who it should be. I really don't have a sense because I think someone's going to emerge, and it really.
Do you think it's to quote Donald Rumsfeld, known unknown? You think there's going to be someone we're not thinking about that comes through?
I think it's going to be a function of who some of the people that we may know of, how in touch they are with what the future of the Democratic Party is. So, for instance, like a guy like Ossof,
yeah,
I think he's going to win big in Georgia. And I think he is positioned or could position himself to be, like you say, one of the things that Biden did very well is he was cut from a certain mold. Let's put, again, very difficult to put the genocide aside, but in terms of his domestic work in the first year, he basically had to allow Bernie to have influence on the labor side and Warren on the antitrust side. And a lot of great policies came out of that.
Yeah.
Again, they passed the American Rescue Act in February of 2020.
What you're saying is, and I think a lot of people said that Biden was one good skill he had was he understood where the party was and where he needed to be.
He was a weather vane.
Okay.
Except for Israel.
Who do you want it to be?
Who do I want it? Again, like I would love to see Jon Ossof come out.
But if you waved a wand, you wouldn't say AOC or Ro Khanna.
I mean, I personally feel like I would like AOC to be senator from New York.
Okay. So take Chuck Schumer.
And I think it's just sort of like, I think the left in this country needs more power.
Yeah.
Because we have seen, like El Sayed is a great example. It's tough when you have the Republicans and a slice of the Democratic Party, the one that has a lot of the power, fighting against this person.
Yeah.
So you're thinking strategically, have AOC in the Senate, Abdul El-Sayed in the Senate, other Troy Jackson in the Senate, have progressives in there to help a Democratic president's agenda.
Yes, to help and to push it to the left,
to push it, yes.
And to realize like the center of the politics. I mean, I would be afraid of AOC losing. At this point in her career, presidential.
That's a good point. She's got a long career ahead of her, we hope.
Yeah, that's a very astute analysis. Is very much a chess. Where does this piece go to set up the next long-term thing? So I totally get that, but that's an interesting thing to be afraid if AOC loses because like so many. Nixon lost 5 times before he got president, and then Biden lost 3-4 times before he got elected. So I find that very interesting, but it was a good analysis about the concessions Biden had to give to the left. Biden giving policy concessions to Bernie and Warren was a function of their primary campaigns. If they hadn't run, they would have gotten nothing. Why would Ossoff, who is no more a leftist than Biden, give them if the left sits out the primary? Not following his logic. Yes, this is my thing as well. There's not going to be anyone to push Ossoff to the left. And again, Ossoff, like I said, if he is nominated, I don't think he has, even if he is nominated and it's a close primary, I don't think he would give any concessions. I don't know. He's a straight white dude, young, probably egotistical, full of himself. I don't think he would give any concessions. So Newsom, and Ossof and, of course, Kamala running are the biggest fucking disasters for 2028, in my opinion. So we were talking earlier about Moms for Liberty losing. Bridget Ziegler is the co-founder of Moms for Liberty, the arch-conservative education movement. These are some of the people that have like pushed shit like, teaching that slavery was good. They push shit like, teaching the Ten Commandments. Having the Pledge of Allegiance, or not the Pledge. Is it the Pledge of Allegiance? No. What's the? Well, I think they want to have the mandatory Pledge of Allegiance. I think that was one of their things. But anyways, Democrats just flipped the school board she sits on, Sarasota, Florida. They will hold 4 of the 5 seats, with the 5th going to a runoff. Ziegler was engulfed in scandal in 2023 after her husband, then Florida GOP chair Christian Ziegler. Fuck, I remember this. Oh my God, there's so many crazy-ass scandals that come up, and I'm like, oh, core memory unlocked when a Republican tried to rape a woman. That's right. I mean, it's not a funny subject, but it's like, holy shit, that's right. I remember when this happened. Was accused of raping a woman he and his wife had secretly been involved in a long-standing bisexual threesome relationship with. He was investigated, but no charges were brought. So, yeah, I think this is huge. Moms for Liberty taking L's is one of the best things that could happen to us right now. So, how is the Democrats going to unite the party? Washington Post, Chuck Schumer says Democrats don't necessarily need to win Michigan to flip control of the U.S. Senate. A path to winning back the Senate clearly goes through Michigan, but we have a whole bunch of different paths. Yeah, he's got to go. He's got to go. AOC, please run against Chuck Schumer. This motherfucker's got to go. This piece of shit will talk every single day about how we need to have a big tent for Democrats. And that includes people who will literally campaign with Nazis, people who will literally shake hands with Nazis, people who will literally cut deals with Nazis in the MAGA pedo party. People who will literally sit aside while Epstein child rapists are allowed to walk freely among us. But the Muslim guy who's a good speaker, no, we can't. No, keep that tent door zipped. Don't let him crawl out from under. Don't let him crawl under these fucking things either. Don't let him crawl under the tent flaps. He's crafty. We can't let him have it. Schumer has got to go. This is not how you unite the caucus. He's not even politically savvy. That's the thing. Like, if he really wanted to, sometimes as a leader, you have to take an L. Sometimes you have to take an L from a constituency, which are, AIPAC in Israel, which, by the way, is losing everywhere. And you could take the L in a way that you don't necessarily upset. Why is it that Chuck Schumer can straddle the fence with every fucking answer except when it comes to Abdul El-Sayed? Oh, that's right, because he takes bribes from Israel and AIPAC. Duh! Doy McFly! He literally could have said a million different things other than this. He could have said, our goal is to get every senator we can because the Republicans are the biggest threat. Simple as that. That's all he could have said, but instead he intentionally chose to target Abdul El-Sayed. My God, if Abdul El-Sayed, I want to see, if Abdul El-Sayed wins, I want to see him get sworn in and just fucking stare Chuck. He walks past Chuck Schumer like, see you, motherfucker. Yeah, I swear. I see you, motherfucker. Give me my goddamn Senate seat. Watching you. Fucking watching you. God, I want to see that shit so bad. All right, I'm catching up a little bit here. But this is the point. Abdul El-Sayed's victory in Michigan's Democratic primary has complicated Senate Minority Leaders. Fuck, it doesn't. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer's plans to help Democrats retake the Senate in November, tying his party's fortunes to a candidate some Democrats in Michigan say they cannot support, even if it means costing Democrats the Senate majority. Michigan is crucial for Democrats, the party's path to a Senate majority, which, by the way, the latest polls show him beating Mike Rogers by, I think, about 6%. How does that complicate the Senate majority? This is stupid. It's just, again, this is just right-wing framing from the shithole losers at the fucking, is it Washington Post? Washington Post. Meanwhile, this is what they support. This is what the issue is for Chuck Schumer. This is the hill he will die on. The hill he will die on is little Palestinian babies being shot and murdered by 300 fucking bullets. Fuck Chuck, honestly. The Israeli military acknowledged firing on a car carrying 5-year-old Hind Rajab in Gaza after earlier denials that it opens a criminal probe into the January 2024 killing. The Israel didn't just fire on a car. The Red Cross told them 5-year-old Hind was in the car. IDF gave permission to an ambulance to enter the area. then ambushed and bombed that ambulance, shot 355 bullets at Hinn's car, prevented anyone from reaching her body for 12 days, and lied about it for 2 years, saying we never even had troops in that area, despite satellite images and audio recordings proving they were lying. Remember that Eilon A. Levy was still in government lying on behalf of Israel when the Israeli government denied attacking him in Job's car? What else were they and Levy lying about? Quote, I'm not talking because every time I talk, blood comes out of my mouth and makes my dress dirty, and I don't want my mom to have to clean it. Henry Job's last words to the paramedic she was on the phone with before Israeli soldiers pumped 355 bullets into the car she was in. I am not kidding. Chuck Schumer belongs in The Hague. He belongs behind bars, next to Hakeem Jeffries, next to Donald Trump, next to Eilon Levy, next to Benjamin fucking Netanyahu. You cannot read something like this and tell me your blood doesn't fucking boil. The Hague is too kind of a place, is too kind of a sentence for people who support this. People who support this are evil. There's no other fucking way about it. $355, 355 bullets for a 5-year-old child, also they could get fucking Israeli bucks to try and win an election. Saying fuck these people is not enough, but fuck Chuck. God, I hate that man. And now we've got this. Michigan Jewish leaders are circulating an open letter urging Jewish Democrats in the state to sign their names in support of Mike Rogers over Abdul El-Sayed for Senate. The letter is led by Eric Bronstein, a Detroit Jewish leader and businessman, among others. So keep in mind, not only will they support this, a 5-year-old being murdered by 355 bullets, and then the same ambulance crew being firebombed by Israel, all while the Israeli government lied about it for 2 years, and they'll side with people like this, who is also, by the way, a pedophile who texted a 16-year-old wanting nudes from her.
Go back, AIPAC, go back. That's the AIPAC building right there. White Christian men are not going to sit around while you turn our children into a bunch of nigger lovers.
We're going the wrong way. Where are we going?
Simple. This is what the Jewish groups in Michigan will support. This is what they'll support. And this guy doesn't even support Israel. The Mike Rogers campaign is hosting this guy while the media yaps nonstop about Hassan Piker. Mike Rogers is up against Abdul El-Sayed, and Jewish groups in Michigan think this guy is good to campaign with Mike Rogers, and they think this has no influence on Mike Rogers' ideology or point of view or policies.
Go back, AIPAC, go back. That's the AIPAC bill.
So Hitler salute says fuck AIPAC, which, yes, fuck AIPAC, by the way, but also Nazi salute, and then drops the N-bomb. I don't even want to hear that shit again. Lorenzo Sewell hosted racist activist Jake Lang at his church over the weekend. Sewell also hosted Trump, Tim Scott, and Mike Rogers for campaign events in 2024. Sewell is listed as a Faith Coalition coordinator for Mike Rogers' U.S. Senate campaign. This is the shit that Jewish organizations will tolerate. They'll tolerate active fucking Nazis as long as it allows them to murder children. Israel is the dividing line. Nazi salutes, totally fine. Saying defund Israel and not send bombs to Israel? No. That is where they draw the line. Oh, we have another Trigger MAGA pedophile. Where are you little bitch? Red Team Go 1277 says, deport all Muslims/Islamists. How about we deport you? How about we deport pedophiles like you? You rape children, you support a pedophile in the White House, and you also destroy America. So, what did you think was going to happen? This is this bitch right now. As soon as this motherfucker sees he gets banned from my stream, this is going to be him.
There were
Are you going to cry, Red Team Go? Knowing that people on the internet don't give a fuck about you, and now that you're banned from my channel, have no social interaction, you're actually going to have to go out in the real world? Jake Lang has such a punchable face. Many people have actually discovered that, actually. There's a lot of great footage. You should Google it. Suddenly, Mike Collins is all over Georgia's Jewish community. And this guy is also a Nazi, by the way. The GOP Senate nominee is courting voters angered by Jon Ossof's criticism of Israel, seeking to exploit one of Georgia's first Jewish U.S. senators' most personal political fault lines. Monday's press conference was held weeks after CNN first reported that Colin's son-in-law, David Allen Scheer II, was a pro-white nationalist and social media influencer with a track record of sharing anti-Semitic material and Nazi imagery and comments across the internet. Yet again, they will support actual fucking Nazis before they will say they have to break from Israel. This is terrible. This is the GOP today, 20% Nazi, 80% Nazi adjacent. Bilzerian's animus towards Fine, who is Jewish, has been front and center throughout the campaign, but appears to have reached a crescendo with his August 14th posting on X of a 2-minute, 25-second ad featuring an attractive nightclub singer mixed with derisive AI-generated images of Fine, attacks on Israel, and at one point, an appearance by an Adolf Hitler figure with the lyric, "Should we revisit that Austrian painter's opinion?" Again, the Jewish communities will not break from Israel and will actually side with Nazis. This is not a first time. The Republican is nothing but the modern Nazi party. They had the Nazi text chat of the young Republicans in New York, in Florida. They continuously post the Great Replacement Theory, whether it be Marjorie Taylor Greene, Tucker Carlson, et cetera, which is, of course, a Nazi talking point. And yet they can't say fuck Israel.
And so we can't let them get away with it because this is not a matter of disagreement. This is not a matter of opinion, okay? This is a matter of right and wrong. And so here's Ro Khanna saying, in no uncertain terms, lock him up. Lock him up. There's something that, I said a while back, but I'm going to start reiterating it a lot more these days. Whenever people accuse leftists of wanting to abolish prisons, our response has to be, we're not going to fucking abolish prisons. That's where we're sending Donald Trump. That's where we're sending Elon Musk. That's where we're sending Stephen Miller. Okay? I am a law and order leftist. I'm going to lock up all the war criminals. I'm going to lock up all the Wall Street criminals who are committing crimes over and over. I'm going to lock up all the ICE Gestapo thug criminals. I'm going to lock up all these white collar criminals who are robbing people blind with various fraud schemes, and then Trump is pardoning them and pardoning them again. They're all getting locked up, every last one of them, okay? And that's what the message needs to be.
I fully agree with him. I think along with, excuse me, you cannot have Jon Ossof's corruption argument without the punishment of lock them up. I fully agree with him here. And this is exactly why we should lock them up. ICE is deporting people to countries they're not from solely as a way to send a message to completely different people, a form of collective punishment. The Trump administration spits on human rights every day. The U.S. is deporting Mexican immigrants to Central America, despite Mexico's willingness to accept its own citizens. The official said one of the objectives of the deportations, which have not been formally announced by the U.S. government, is to deter illegal immigration from Mexico by sending some of its citizens further south and farther away from the U.S.-Mexico border. Again, this is exactly what Israel does. This is all collective punishment, which is why we need to defund Israel. And yet, Trump is going to go on all these crime sprees. The Trump administration task force charged with investigating anti-Semitism on Ivy League campuses pressured universities into punitive settlements despite little to no evidence of systemic abuse, according to a whistleblower. They made everything fucking up. We cannot have a corruption argument, an anti-corruption campaign, without a lock them up narrative. Per Oliver Darcy's reporting on the ABC lawsuit against the Trump FCC, ABC conceded that it aired Trump's recent primetime speech in which he advanced debunked conspiracies about the 2020 election on its streaming platform because of the pressure, candidly disclosing it would normally not have done so. So it's total collusion. It's the Trump regime breaking the First Amendment, pressuring these networks and violating their First Amendment rights, and then those organizations concede to an orange pedophile who's literally shitting himself every night. Wonder if all those folks who lost their minds over the Biden administration asking social media companies not to air misinformation about COVID and the vaccines will get equally mad over his much more egregious pressure put on ABC by Trump. LOL, don't be silly. Of course they won't. Hypocrites. Absolutely correct. The evidence that the White House sought to punish Colorado over Tina Peters continues to ricochet within the state. We now have Trump smoking gun. Here's how we hold him accountable for trying to harm Coloradans. Trump's illegal and harmful behavior cannot stand as a model for future presidents. And this is the key point, is if you don't punish this, it's just going to keep happening. That was what people learned with Nixon. And then look at Reagan. He literally committed treason by telling Iran not to release the hostages so that he could win the election. That was all it was. It was literal fucking treason. And he got away with it because they realized the establishment doesn't give a shit. The establishment, meaning people like Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, who are both anti-impeachment right now. And this is a complete encapsulation of policing in this country. This is why defund the police is actually good. Flock allegedly spotted this Colorado woman's truck around the time and location of a package theft. What ensued was a Kafka-esque scene in which she insisted it wasn't her, while an officer who came to her door said he had indisputable proof. but refused to show her unless she admitted she stole the package. It is her. It's 100%. It's locked in. There is zero doubt, he tells her. But police dropped the case after she provided her cell phone tracking data, camera footage from her truck, and video placing her elsewhere at the time of the theft. From wrongful arrests to officer stalking exes, license plate readers keep exposing police failures. And here's the other thing. If she didn't have this stuff, like if she didn't have a phone, if she was poor, she didn't have a phone, she didn't have a camera on her car, or you know, access to these videos, I'm assuming it's maybe security footage of at a grocery store or something, she could have gotten to jail. This is what I say. Police don't solve crimes. They just arrest people and pin it on them. This is exactly why. The best thing about these Flock controversies, they're exposing how shoddy some police work is. This cop accosted an innocent woman and said he was 100% sure she was a thief. Why? Because Flock saw her car around the time of a theft, and he didn't bother to do anything else. Like, we know that Flock has a shitload of flaws in it, and if you're not going to even do basic police work, again, we pay these people billions of dollars. He didn't want to even do the most basic of police work. And had this gone to trial, this lady's life would have been ruined. And they would have been publicly fucking humiliated. And you know what? There would have been zero consequences for this pig. Which is even more reason why we have to defund the police. It is the bare minimum of consequences we can get. And she was one of the lucky ones. There was another guy who had exactly this happen in San Francisco. They prosecuted him for over a year, and he ended up killing himself. That's what happened. Yes, defund the fucking police. I don't really have time to cover all this stuff. So that is my stream. Let's just end on something. Trump ranting like a madman.
It's a million-year life. It's a very strong stone. It will never break. It will never leak. It will never do anything. This is the highest quality stone you can get, and especially for something like this, it's rated 1,000,000-year plus. That means it has 1,000,000-year life.
1,000,000-year plus? Yeah, dude.
It's
going to outlive the Earth.
35,000 pounds per square inch. If you look at hard concrete is 5,000 pounds. This is 35,000. So nature is stronger than what the human can produce. It's really pretty amazing. It comes from California.
Oh my God!
From a quarry in California.
All right, I'm done. I can't watch this pedophile anymore. But it's just crazy how they picture this guy as like the ultra masculine male that they can thump their chest to, and he's obsessed with interior